Hey everybody, it's Amanda.
And it's Mike.
And we are the
Hides Do Disney.
So welcome back to the channel. We are hopefully finishing our COVID at the Parks series today, our 3-video series, but
Yeah.
we have so many videos to show you guys from the parks that you can see kind of firsthand what it was like. So let's just jump right into it. I will make sure that the playlist where the other 2 videos are is linked up here somewhere. They'll be down there, so you can watch those 2 if you're interested. But today we are going to talk all about actually being in the parks, which is what you guys are all here for. We know that's why you guys came to see our content. So Mike, just why don't you take it away with food, because we all know how much we like food.
Yeah, so I don't go to Disney to ride rides, I go to Disney to eat food. No, just kidding. Food was definitely something that was totally different. The biggest thing that I noticed was just going into Starbucks. Like, yes, it wasn't per se busy as it usually is. They were very, very good at managing it. So there was, when I was there, one of the cast members was up front, and she was only allowing a certain amount of people inside of the Starbucks itself. So she would stop you, and they had a line outside that you had to wait in line there, and then they would let you into the queue to go in. They had the queue all blocked off, so you'd be staying 6 feet away from people. It wouldn't loop back, across people. We did it at Magic Kingdom and we did it at Hollywood Studios. Magic Kingdom was more memorable for me because I actually chatted with a girl because I was waiting. I talked to her, the cast member up front. It was interesting. Like, you wait in line, it's just like a normal waiting in line. They're 6 feet apart like you are everywhere else you go.
You're gonna notice that 6 feet apart.
6 feet apart is a big thing. The one thing that kind of caught me off there, and this is maybe why it's more memorable, is, and this is what annoyed the living daylights out of me.
Oh my gosh, I know where you're gonna go with this.
Is there was a group in front of me. Okay, there's like 4 of them in front of me. They're a group. Actually, there's a couple groups in front of me that did this. They get up to be waited on, and all of a sudden they turn into multiple groups. So the first one was 2 young girls. Instead of ordering together, one goes up and orders, the other one waits for another person to take their order, then goes up to that person. So now you have 2 people who are now going to be separated. So now they're taking up more space because they're gonna make them stand 6 feet apart.
Yep.
And I'm like, if you're going to Starbucks and you're a group, you order as a group. I don't care if you are paying individually.
Venmo each other.
Venmo it. I mean, Venmo it, Cash App, whatever you use.
We know that these young
physical
kids,
money.
We know these young kids know how to use Venmo. Did they all order pinkety drinks?
I don't know. I ordered a pinkety drink. Just kidding.
No, he's not. He actually did.
I actually did. But that's neither here nor there. So here, let me put a perspective on it though. It's like when you go into Starbucks there at Disney, you're in the queue, it's 6 feet apart, and then what happens is that there's 2 people taking orders, and then they have 3 dots against one of the walls. And when you're done taking your order, they send you to the farthest dot away. And then when the person on the first dot, his order's ready, they call them over, they take their drinks or whatever it is, they leave, you move forward a dot. Mm-hmm. But if there's 3 people there, they hold the 2 people in front of the cashier that are ordering in front of the cashier. So there's only 5 people that can be orders at a time. The other time when we were at Hollywood Studios, I was the 3rd one in line, and then a guy, like, he orders and then walks away, and then they're telling him, you have to come back and stand in front of me and wait for one of those 3 spots to come available. And that became very confusing for everybody. Yeah. So I was like, they have a very good system, but word of note, if you're going to go there and there's multiple of you, do not order separately. Just order it all together. A, it's going to come out quicker because they're trying to get their order done, and B, you're not taking up everybody else's time as well as your own time.
Thank you for coming to Mike's 10-minute TED Talk. So that's Starbucks. So the rest of the parks, if you don't have a table service reservation and you're eating at, let's just say, Sleepy Hollow, there you can make a typical, like, hi, I'd like to order. So those are gonna be typical walk up to the counter ordering kind of thing. Same with where like the Storybook Treats are. But when you get to places like Cosmic Rays, and that's the only one I can think of that's actually open in Magic Kingdom. Pecos Bill is the other one that's actually open. RIP to Casey's Corner. They are almost exclusively doing mobile orders, so you're going to want to make sure that you have the updated version of the My Disney Experience app, and you're just going to go in there and you're going to, you know, obviously select what you want. If you have any dietary restrictions, I think there's a section in there as well.
Yeah.
If you want to use cash, you can. You just need to let the person at the front know. Obviously, don't do the mobile order before. You're going to go to the front of the restaurant or the quick service spot and tell them, hey, I would like to pay cash for this, and they will ring you out. But they are very heavily pushing mobile order. If you can, I mean, obviously, if you are, you know, parents and you've got 6 children and you need those hands to help bring food out, obviously you're gonna send more people in. But if you're just, you know, just us, or you have like 1 small child, or you've got a couple more adults or whatever, just one of you go in if you can help it. The only time that we really did mobile order was at the hotel.
Yeah,
and so that was fine. We did it from our hotel room. We'd go downstairs, I'd grab food, come back up. I think we did it at Flame Tree Barbecue as well, was the other place that we did it. No, we didn't.
No, we didn't, because it didn't have the barbecue.
That's right, we did it because they didn't have the fries. Ugh.
If you're going to mobile order, you need to go find a place to sit
and wait until it tells you.
Until your order says it's ready. The app translates over, says your order is ready for pickup. Then go in and get your food. It's going to make it easier on you, easier on the cast member, easier to social distance.
Speaking of social distancing, nice transition. Let's talk about the lines for rides, because...
What lines?
Exactly. So there wasn't very many lines. Most of the lines that we actually had were only because they were cleaning. And so, like, for example, we waited, I think, 20 minutes for Big Thunder Mountain, and the only reason it was that long is because they cleaned all the trains. If it wasn't for that, it probably would have taken us maybe 10 minutes, maybe. But the queues were, I thought, very well done.
Yeah, I don't feel like it was crowded. I mean, it's nice to actually have space while you're in the queue at Disney. So I guess that's more of a blessing than it is a curse. They had these little plastic barriers that went up in front as you walk through, so that if you had to be really close to somebody on a switchback, that there was a divider between you and that person on the other side of that switchback, so that you could actually have the space there.
That was really funny when Mike walked through the one at 3 Cafeteria.
Oh my gosh, I'm a big guy, so like it was literally shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah, so you're gonna see on the ground, they're gonna have either like an X on the ground or a line that says, please wait here. And they were spaced out at least 6 feet, if not more, depending on where it was. There were some spots that were like, you'd go around a corner and you'd be like, oh, sorry, you're still there, like, and you'd kind of go back.
Yeah.
But that is, it is what it is. Like, you can't help it with some of those corners.
Yeah, there's some places, like we were going through the ride queue for Splash Mountain, where when you switch back, they actually either don't put any of the wait lines there, or they have them staggered out where it's you, and then in front of you is about 12 feet, but then kitty corner to you, like off to an angle, the person on the switchback, I'm like almost touching the camera, person on the switchback is within 6 feet of you, so they did it that way as well, so that at any direction you're more than 6 feet from, or 6 feet or more from somebody. So that was kind of nice to see, and that somebody actually thought that one through. Yeah, and really the only lines for rides that we found were different than they normally are, because I mean obviously they're all spaced out and whatever, but the only ride queues that were significantly different, I think the biggest one for us was Haunted Mansion, because they walk you right through the stretching room. It's already stretched, you don't stand in there, and you get the pre-show, which I love. Another example of that is Flight of Passage. So if you have ridden it before, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you have not ridden it before, I'm looking at you, Donna, who don't want any spoilers, so skip forward. I'll put a little spot on the bottom that tells you where to go to. Instead of having the disinfectant room where you've got the guy that tells you to fly, instead of having that as a room, and then you get your goggles and you go and you've got Jackie Ogden telling you to see Baco, Rise of the Challenge, they're using both rooms, but you're spaced out obviously. So I think there was 6 parties in one, 6 parties in another, or something. I don't know what the actual number was. Both screens showed the same pre-show that was like a mixture of both, but you don't get the fly, which really made me bummed out. But besides that, like, you get the Sivaco thing. They just basically make it like a safety briefing, and then you get onto the ride, which we'll talk about in a minute.
And then the other ones that were a little bit different was same thing with Millennium Falcon. You walked right through the pre-show with Hondo Ohnaka, so you didn't...
Yeah, he's going through his whole spiel, but you're not stopping to have a conversation with him.
Yeah, and then the other one that we noticed was Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. They don't show the little, like, cute Mickey short before and then the explosion and whatever. It's already, like, blown through, and basically you just stand on a dot in that room and wait to go into your next little bit of line. Speaking of going into rides, let's talk about how we were distanced on rides.
We've kind of been touching on it as like you're 6 feet apart when you're in the waiting to get onto your ride. Actually, for the Doom Buggies, when we got on, there was nobody in front of us for like, we didn't see anybody in front of us. And then we got on and we didn't see anybody behind us. So there's probably about 20 cars, buggies between us. So we literally rode through Haunted Mansion pretty much
By ourselves.
without seeing a single living person in the ride, which was kind of cool. It was a cool experience. It's kind of creepy.
But in general, they're loading those every other or two in between. Like they did that with Peter Pan's flight. I think there was like 2 in between. Yeah,
so they're kind of just distancing you out that way on the rides themselves. A lot of it's front and back. Like there's one group party in the front, party in the back. It's like a mullet, you know? Business in the front, party in the back.
Yeah, we were always in the back. And
so we were the party, yeah. So they're kind of separating you that way.
If you're a large party, they're just going to give you one.
Yeah, if you're a bigger party, they're going to give you, a boat to yourselves. Millennium Falcon was cool because it is one party per cockpit.
Yeah, that was great.
So we rode the Millennium Falcon with just her and I, and we both were pilots, so that was a lot of fun to swing that thing around and crash and everything because we're not very organized.
Yeah, I cannot wait to do that with Josiah as just like a party of us, or if my mom is with us, a party of 4, because that's gonna be so fun to just let him pilot and do what he wants to do.
Roller coasters pretty much
a row in between. Maybe 2, depending on the ride.
Depending. I think on Space Mountain it was one party per pretty much coaster because there's 2 of them.
Yeah, so there's 6 seats in each roller coaster, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I think the way that they set it up with us is that we were in the back of our car in the back side, and then there was a party of 2, I think, in the front side of the front car.
It really depends on party size. So they have a system in place where they're going to kind of pick people out. Like if they have a party of 2 waiting up front and they need another party of 2, they're going to do the same thing like they do normally.
Yeah.
We need another party of 2 to fill this in, and they're going to put you, because that's what happened to us. We actually jumped by a bunch of people because we were only a party of 2.
Yeah,
and they wanted to get that that ride going.
Yeah, so like for Everest, it was me, and I'm pretty sure that I was the only one in my car section of 1, 2, 3 spots. The only place that they're actually loading a full vehicle is the Safari.
Yeah, which is really weird because we saw other YouTubers going out and they're on a ride vehicle, and there was benches in front of them that were empty and benches behind them empty. When we got on, we were the second row from the back. There was a family behind us and a family right in front of us. And they have the dividers. Yeah,
they have like a plastic divider in between.
Yeah.
But like there's space underneath, and also it makes it really hard to see the animals, A, and B, it got really hot because you're basically, except for the little sides on the side, completely enclosed in plastic. I think there could have been a different way to go about the Safari, but that's just me. I don't know what I'm talking about. Oh, Soarin', there were sectioned off, I think they were sections off of 3 or 4 seats because they're gonna do like the average party size. And in between parties, there were little like booster seats that you would find for like an airplane, and then the plastic in between there to cut those off. And then Flight of Passage, they just seated people
by party with a certain amount of
in between.
Yeah, some of ride vehicles in between.
Yep. So.
But that was pretty much it. I mean, it was fine. I don't feel like we were never crowded. The longest wait we did, there's 2 long waits that I can remember, and that was Splash Mountain and then Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
Yeah, they both were about 30 minutes, I would say, give or take. A really random thing that just came into my mind about rides that had weird social distancing. Cali River Rapids.
Yeah, that was weird.
So basically they sat 2 parties
we sat across
from each other, which was fine. Like it was socially distanced and it was great. But that's just not a ride that I usually think of because we've only been in it.
We rode it twice, and that was the only 2 times we've ever ridden it. A very anticlimactic ride.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in another video.
Our position on all of this is, if you're comfortable with it, then go and do what you need to do. It is a very good experience right now. If you were not comfortable, there's no shame in that. Don't go. Yeah. Postpone your trip to a later date so you can actually go and have a good time and experience the wonderful magic that is Disney.
Yeah, things are gonna be different than if you've been before. And like I've said 112 times, if this is going to be your first trip, I would postpone it until you can get all of the magic. But if you are like us and annual pass holders, or
magic is real.
It is.
You can't air quote magic. Magic? It's real. I've seen it.
Anyway.
Walt's middle name was Magic.
No, it wasn't. It was Elias.
Wrapped up in pixie dust.
Okay.
Magic.
So I guess with that, that's kind of the end of the video.
Is it kinda the end of the video?
This video was supposed to be short. Mike said this was going to be the shortest of them all, and we, at behind the scenes time, we are at like 30 minutes of recording.
Yeah, we're pushing 40 minutes right now.
Yeah, hopefully it's way shorter than that. I'm going to cut out a ton of stuff, probably including this, but you never know. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure that you hit the thumbs up, subscribe, notification bell. Yeah, all the stuff that you're supposed to do for a channel that you like, because we would love to have you guys as part of our family. With that, we will see you Thursday for cooking videos, Mondays for Disney videos, sometimes Saturdays with miscellaneous things. It's just kind of a show at this point, so just ring that notification bell if you want to actually know when videos come out. So that, we'll see you next time.
Peace.
Bye.
Magic.